It's bizarre, but China is now trying to intimidate the Indian media over its, dreams over Taiwan. The spokesperson of the Chinese embassy in India tries to intimidate the Indian media now, saying Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory, claiming that the One China principle is a widely recognized norm governing international relations and that Taiwan has no other status in international law than being part of China. I mean, look at the language that they're using, saying that Taiwan has no other status in international law than being part of China. I mean, the kind of language that is being used. And then they go on to say, we express firm opposition to some Indian media that provided platform for Taiwan independence forces, urge them to adhere to the One China principle and avoid sending wrong message to the public. Now, China is trying to be the super censor in India. Can you believe it? Saurabh Shukla is on the phone line of News Mobile, editor News Mobile, and also Republic contributor. What's going on, Saurabh? Look at the kind of language that they're using. That Taiwan is part of China. Okay, that's fine. They can have an argument over it. But why are they lecturing the Indian media?
Niranjan, they are rattled by the fact that there is an independent media in India which can take on China, which is a bully and hegemon in the entire region. They have been bullying democracies all over the world, and Chinese embassy spokesperson clearly is rattled because, media companies like Republic, News Mobile, we have been speaking very, very stridently against China's hegemonic designs in India. I recall a debate we had a few days ago on Arnab's show, where we went completely, on taking the larger geopolitical interest that we have in mind. And that's the reason which has rattled them. That is all the more reason why we should stand together. Democracies have to come together against China's bullying, and the Chinese spokesperson should know that these bullying tactics are not going to work on Indian media, especially independent media. We are not the ones who are getting handouts from the Chinese government or getting a lot of ads, unlike a lot of media companies in India which continue to do that. We are the ones who uphold national interest. We are the ones who uphold the tenets of democracy, and we will continue to do so. Niranjan.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, isn't it? I mean, it's also a lesson to the kind of media that sort of waits for a handout from China, sort of. I mean, I think you put it correctly, especially the kind of media that waits for a dole-out from China and the Chinese administration, and then sort of tries to play Beijing's mouthpiece. They like to play that game, isn't it? But look at the language. I want to repeat the language for our viewers who are watching us on this breaking news broadcast. The Chinese embassy in India has the guts to tell the Indian media that we express firm opposition to some Indian media that provided platform for Taiwan independence forces. So they want to decide who we get on Indian media and who we don't, right? They want to decide who comes on Indian media, who's a panelist on Indian media. And they want India and Indian media to adhere to the One China principle. I mean, look at the audacity, Saurabh. They have a problem with us, holding our foot and standing our ground at the LAC, and they want us to consider Taiwan as one China. What's going on? And why do you think they're doing this?
They are doing it because they are scared of this new India. They are scared of a new India which is standing up to China, because they have been bullying countries like Bhutan in our neighborhood. They have tried to bully India, but they know that this is not going to succeed. And I must say right here that India's diplomacy should now go full throttle on engaging with Taiwan. We should not only make sure that we should not be bothered about China's protestations here. Taiwan is a country, has been a friend of India. Taiwan is a country where India can have high-tech cooperation with. We should not be dependent on China for these things. And in any case, any China apologist in India should realize that this is a sovereign country. We will take our sovereign decision, and they cannot be allowed to bully us. And, as I mentioned earlier, there is a cyber of sorts that the Chinese government has been doing in India, try to muzzle free opinion, free voice. Whether it comes to the Tibetan leadership in India, India must engage with them, because India must show China the sign and hurt them where it hurts the most. That is the reason why, so far we have been on, if you realize, when it comes to our China policy, we have been on back foot sometimes. We have to be on front foot and tell China that we will factor in our national interest, factor in our diplomacy according to our own national interest. And our national interest lies in standing with democracies and taking on hegemons like China. Niranjan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. I have Sushant Sareen joining us on the phone line. Sriram Chole also joining us. Let me take a question from Sushant and toss it to Sriram. Sushant, you have to admire the courage of the Chinese trying to lecture to Indian media on what is right, what is wrong, trying to decide who we take as guests and who we don't. They now try to lecture to Indian media saying that why are you providing platform to Taiwan independence forces, asking the Indian media to adhere to the one China principle. I mean, the kind of people who have a problem with India, standing its ground at the LAC and with our stand on POK. Why do you think China is trying to do this, and who do you think they're trying to refer to?
No, look, one is that this is standard Chinese policy, and I think they're flexing their muscle and, they're being as obnoxious as they can be, hectoring other countries, protesting, all sorts of things they are doing. But as far as, one China policy is concerned, I am all for one China policy, only not under the Communist Party of China. I think one China under Taipei is what would be equally acceptable to many people. Where is it written that one China has to be under, the kind of totalitarian system that Beijing has imposed? So one is that. But on a more serious note, I think the Indian media, if this is riling up the Chinese, like media and governments in other parts of the world, are taking their own independent decisions and are not kowtowing to what the Chinese demands are, I think that's the way forward. The Chinese can't, insist on certain things for themselves, but flout it brazenly when it comes to, for example, POK. When they, make projects in POK and they flout Indian sovereignty over Jammu and Kashmir, at that point of time, it's all okay for the Chinese, right? If a mere media house invites a Taiwanese representative or gives a platform to the Taiwanese, the Chinese go all apoplectic. And I don't think that is going to be acceptable. You can't have these kind of double standards of the sorts which the Chinese have. And I think the best way to answer the Chinese is to have another program or get, some Taiwanese representative to write another article and probably give them more space on Indian television networks, including Republic. Republic does it often. But do a little more of that, and I think, if you do it enough times, that should shut up the Chinese nice and proper.
Yeah. What it does tell you, Sriram, is that they're clearly rattled by the kind of coverage we've done because, for the last few weeks and months, Republic has from the front sort of tried to question China on all their stands vis-a-vis Afghanistan, Pakistan, the LAC, Taiwan, the South China Sea. And it's somewhere, what it does tell you when a statement like this comes out is that they're watching and they're clearly rattled because they know people are watching.
Well, Niranjan, they are afraid of a nationalist India. They were used to, before Narendra Modi came to power, they were used to dealing with a soft and a feeble India that was not taking them on. So now, clearly, yes, they are rattled. And on Taiwan, they have even gone to the extent of Xi Jinping directly warned Joe Biden in their one-on-one, saying, this is the red line and, don't play with fire. So they are Taiwan because they want to occupy Taiwan by hook or crook and but through intimidation step by step through their aerial offensives and through a naval invasion. So they don't want the attention to be on Taiwan. They don't want the world to stand up for Taiwan. If the world stands up for Taiwan, it raises the costs of the Chinese intentions of occupying and invading and gobbling up Taiwan. So I think they do not want Taiwan's diplomacy to succeed. They don't want Taiwanese figures to be seen elsewhere. They don't want the Taiwan story to be told much. They say this is an internal affair of China. Nobody dares to interfere. So they are using all means to try and, warn countries, say, stay away from Taiwan, you dare not. But of course, we are not fazed by it. We are totally going to go on by our national interests. By the way, we have not been publicly affirming this one China principle for a few years. In the Modi administration, we are saying, you first adhere to one India, then we can think about publicly reaffirming our faith in one China principle. Taiwan has unofficial relations with us. There's a Taiwanese cultural representative in Delhi, is de facto like an ambassador. And of course, we don't have official relations because not even the US has gone to the extent of officially recognizing Taiwan. But the time may come. The way the Chinese are, overstepping the line and behaving in a brazen manner and violating all international rules and laws, the time may come. So I think they are acting at their bullying best, and we need to show the firm strategic resolve. I would say at the ministerial level, if we can engage unofficially with Taiwan more, that is what Taiwan needs. They don't need diplomatic recognition. Right now, they need the support of the world in some form or the other, because they have to stand up to this 800-pound gorilla that's breathing down their neck and is threatening invasion and occupation. So the whole world has to stand up, and I think India is doing the right thing. I think it's not wrong if we increase our unofficial contacts and elevate the stature of their diplomatic presence here, which is currently called a cultural mission. We will not call it an embassy, but we should engage more. We are doing more trade with them. We are a part of the semiconductor, supply chain resilience initiative in Indo-Pacific, where Taiwan is very important for us. And the Quad countries are also engaging more unofficially with Taiwan. So I think that's the way forward, because the Chinese, if they sense blood, they'll go for the kill. So we should not show any weakness. Our attitude should be nonchalant and also rebuttal, saying it's none of your business. We have our own ties with Taiwan, and you are not going to interfere and dictate to us what our foreign policy should be. You should not tell us whether we should be close to the US or to the Taiwan or to Japan or to Australia. It's our own sovereign choice. And if they think they can raise the pressure on us at the border and in turn force us to be their slaves, that's not the way. That's not going to work with Narendra Modi government. And I think somebody from government should also certainly tell them that we have had enough of this lecturing. We don't want any more of this, and let them withdraw from the encroached parts near the LAC. Let them restore the status quo ante April, May, as Dr. Jaishankar has said. Until that time, no normal discourse is possible, no normalization of relations possible, certainly not on Taiwan.
Thank you for that, Sushant, Sriram and Saurabh.